We are back with our Consumer Confidential, and as you probably know, owning a home can be very expensive, especially during the summer, whether you're trying to cut down your bills, whether you're thinking about testing the housing market, perhaps. NBC's senior business correspondent, Christine Romans, is here with some advice to help us save.
Hi, guys.
We love that. So let's start with energy savings, because it's starting to get warmer in most parts of the country right now. A lot of folks turn on those air conditioners. How can we reduce costs there and maybe other utilities as well?
So housing is probably your biggest budget item, isn't it? It's the biggest thing you're paying for, whether you rent or whether you own. If you own, you really want to lower the energy costs if you can. Al and I can go real deep on this. You've got to clean your filters, change your filters for your HVAC system, close the blinds, and also think about using a smart thermostat. Energy Star, the folks there say that if you use an Energy Star smart thermostat, so that'll change the thermostat, the temperature, depending on whether you're home or not, you can save 8% on your housing costs. And the folks over at the Lender Rate, they tell us shop your utilities once a year. Call every utility you have, everything that's a monthly payment for your house, call them up and see if they have any promotions, any bundles, if maybe there are lower prices.
I didn't know you could do that.
You can do that. You just have to have
bundling
the patience.
everything.
You got to bundle everything. You have to have the patience to do that. So ask. And then also track your subscriptions. The folks at Zillow tell us you can use Rocket Money or something called Bobby, and it'll tell you all the subscriptions you have. And you'll see maybe there's something you're not using anymore. Get rid of that and save some money there.
We've all found those.
Oh,
I know,
absolutely.
right?
So summer usually the time people are looking to make a move, get in before school. Is now a good time to be buying a home? And if so, what are you going to do to save some money?
Is it a good time to buy a house? Yes-ish.
Say yes.
Yes.
Apartments for sale. Say yes.
Yes-ish.
She's pimping out her apartment.
Might as well. Why not?
The most important part of this cost is the mortgage rate, right? And mortgage rates are kind of high here, 6.89%. That might be one reason why foot traffic's down a little bit, because people are looking, and if you've got a 3% mortgage, you're less likely to try to move if you don't have to. The 15-year is just 6.14. The most important factor in that mortgage rate, what kind of rate you're going to get, is your credit score. So the first thing to do if you're out there looking to buy is go to Credit Report Free, creditreport.com, find your credit score, clean up any mistakes, and that's going to be better for what kind of rate you're going to get. So that's really important there to do that. Negotiate everywhere, everything. And, you know, the folks over at Rate also told us that you can ask the seller to pay the closing costs. You can save a lot of money doing that. And that this is also the time to consider an adjustable rate mortgage. When you have mortgage rates that are high like this, you get today's mortgage rate, but then it's going to adjust. And if mortgage rates drift lower the next couple of years, then you're going to have some savings. So this is one of those times.
Assuming they go down.
Assuming they go down. I usually love a boring 30-year fixed rate mortgage. No surprises at all. And you can refinance later if you want. But an adjustable rate mortgage might be the way to go this time around.
Where's a home buying difficulty?
Oh, yeah, look at this. You can see the coasts are more difficult than the south. This is our NBC News Home Buyer Index, and this is a picture of April, and it just shows you a little bit of like where things are. It's like a heat map of how hard it is to buy a house in the country right now.
So specifically, if you are a home buyer, you've made that purchase, where are some of those costs you can cut? I mean, people love those tax credits that you can get. Where do you look to find those,
Oh,
though?
there's so many different things, and it all is homework, you know, homeowner homework. But if you look first, you can do something called recasting or refinancing your mortgage. Recasting is when you put a big lump sum down on your mortgage and then it lowers your payments, or you can refinance and it lowers your mortgage rate. You just have to really do the math there. For refinancing, 1 to 2 percentage points lower than what you have right now. Although we were talking to some experts at Redfin who said if mortgage rates are 0.5 percentage point lower than what your mortgage is, start doing the paperwork and getting yourself all set up. Also, shop your homeowner's insurance. The folks at Rate told us do that every year too. Look at your insurance costs. Get the maintenance when needed, you know, fill the cracks and the leaks in the windows and the doors. That actually saves. It sounds so boring. I sound like my dad. But seal up those leaks and make sure that you're changing your filters and that you're doing the everyday maintenance. Close the blinds. You know, Al and I have talked about this before. Close the blinds. You can save some money. And then check for your tax credits and exemptions. There's a lot of things out there. If you are doing home improvements that are energy efficient, there still are a lot of tax credits on the tax incentives on the books. And you can go to the IRS website and you can say, I was looking at them last night to make sure they're all still there and alive.
And your states have them, too.
Of course, you were on the IRS website.
I love to go to the IRS website just before bed, you know.
And what about
renters? Are there ways renters can save?
Yeah, so this is the biggest month for renters right now for signing new contracts. So maybe a couple of years or a 3-year deal. If you do an extended lease, you can get a better discount. Negotiate everything, even parking, for example. You can negotiate parking fees if you're an apartment building. Look at a less popular time to start a lease. The lease that you can get a better deal in the winter for some reason. So if you don't have to move in now, you can extend for another 6 months. Maybe you can try to renegotiate in another time. And then there's something called Built, which is so interesting. This is the folks at Zillow told us about this. It offers a reward program that lets you get points for your rent.
Oh, I've heard about
and
that.
you can kind of like build your credit. You can go on a trip paying with your rent. So check out, Built. That's something that a lot of people in the housing industry, housing experts have looked at as an interesting new way to kind of manage your costs, but get something instead of just a lot of times people rent, they think they're throwing their money away.
Yeah.
This is kind of a way to build.
We should put out BILT.
That's exactly right. So
you can also book a Lyft through Built, get points that way. They have all sorts of different
Look at that pro tip from Kaylee. I love it.
I subscribed after a segment on the Today Show.
Thank you, Christy.
You're welcome, guys.
Have a great weekend. Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can catch the Today Show every morning on NBC or take Today when you're on the go. Just follow the Today podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.